Hello, we live?
Yes.
So, you guys, thank you for being with us today. I'm so excited because we have Miss Ange. Ange, I'm going to butcher your last name. How do you pronounce your last name?
It's Desinor, but if you pronounce
Desinor. Ange
yes,
Desinor. Ange is a diviner, and some of y'all had the pleasure of seeing her read on that tarot mashup, which she was really, really good. I was really proud of you. You came in, you killed it. We didn't get a lot of time to talk about your apparel company because and we know each other through Lucian. So everybody's gonna be like, how do you know her? I know her through Lucian. But when I got to know her and I was looking for workout stuff, she had a company. And I was so excited because here I am. We're all entrepreneurs, right?
mm-hmm.
I was so excited to see a woman that was doing her own thing, had her own thing going. And then you sent me some stuff I purchased and I loved it. 100% I loved it. So I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to watching you grow. Jazz and me got into it yesterday because she came in here with some cute workout pants and I was like, how much are those? And she go, don't worry about it. You can't afford it.
Oh,
Yeah. The Sagittarius. But I was like, that's cool. I got my other stuff. I got my Ange apparel. So I'm gonna have to put some stuff on and show out for her. Tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself first of all, because I got all excited and I just went blah 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 blah.
okay. So I am Ange Desinor. I am in the military. I'm still active duty. My mom. So I started Ange Apparel back in 2014, and I didn't really launch until last summer, 2020, during COVID, because I've been like deployed or in the field or moving all over the place. So I never had an opportunity to focus on my business. And finally, I did last summer. And now, right now, I'm working on rebranding because I want to offer clothing, not just for like skin tight clothing. I want to do everything. I want to also market to the males as well. So I started my clothing line. And also because since I'm in the military, I'm always in environments where they don't have nice workout clothing, or we're just limited on what we can purchase in the general area. But now it's kind of like a way for me to supply a demand. And now I just want to extend that everywhere else, and not just for the military, but for anyone who wants workout clothing um, for affordable prices. And then also, I had an issue with my vendor and the quality of the clothing that I wanted to have. I wanted to ensure that um, I wasn't getting cheap quality because I didn't want anything that's see through or that's too thin or whatever. I wanted high
Yes.
quality material. So I found another vendor, but actually instead of in China, in Pakistan to work with. Um,
That's
just as same price, but just someone who would work with me to help me rebrand. So I have a team here and also in Pakistan.
that's good. And you hit on some key points because the my main irritation with workout apparel is the see-through.
Mm-hmm.
Especially being a woman with big hips and big thighs. It doesn't take much for things to stretch out. And I cannot stand and you see that so much
Yep.
in workout apparel. You know, you can find cute styles, but a lot of them are see-through. So, I mean, the quality is important. You guys ask questions because it would help her to know what you're looking for when you purchase your workout apparel. Because a lot of us, we want it to be cute. We
Mm-hmm.
want it to be, where you can move around. Like you say, I hate stuff that makes me feel like I'm about to suffocate. And I will say, when I put on your workout pants, at first I was like, oh, they look a little bit small because, I'm a hefty girl. I'm not, I'm bottom heavy. So I'm sitting up there thinking, okay, these are going to be really, really tight. And they weren't.
Nope.
They
It's the
stretched out
stretch.
perfect. Yeah, because I think the highest you had was a size large. And I was like, oh, no, no, I'm an extra large. I am an extra large. And the large, perfect. Fit
They fit
perfect.
just right. I
Girl,
think
and made my booty pop too. That's a plus.
yes, that is a plus. That's the point. The whole Ange apparel is all about having wearing good quality material and also looking good in it as well, and feeling comfortable, feeling like and it's not just for working out; it's also for everyday life. Like right now, I have Ange apparel, leggings, and They work.
Well, you know, I live in a community where these women out here, they wear yoga pants like it's the regular look.
Yep.
And it's because of comfort. Even Nika is talking about having something that's breathable.
Yes.
And then also, you know, things that don't roll down on your waist. You know, that's some of the main issues too that women deal with. You have the fabric, but it rolls down and it becomes an irritation.
Hmm.
Now, are you branching out to men's attire too?
Yes, I'm working on that. I do have some samples coming in um, that I'm looking into, as well as trying to get people to wear them and give me feedback and see how it works out. But yes, I will also be supplying men's apparel and women of all ages.
It's going to be so good. I noticed that when we talked last time, you were talking about bringing in like more patterns, more colors, and more things like that.
Hmm. So right now, I only offer four different styles with various colors, but now it'll be a whole entire catalog of workout clothes. So it'll be
Okay,
more. And
let's
also, oh, good.
go ahead, babe.
And then also, a lot of the clothing, I'm starting off with custom made. So if you require a certain custom size, I'm able to supply that, and it won't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna try it out. It might not fit. But if you require certain measurement or whatever, you can definitely contact me and work with me. And my vendor, they make it. They're really fast. They'll make it on the spot exactly how you want it. So
It's,
if you want quality and you want it to fit the way you want it to fit, it will. I can meet that demand.
you actually answered a question that Mambo Sierra has about finding workout apparel that fits a woman who's big chested
Hmm.
or well endowed. Because a lot of times you get a woman that could be smaller at the bottom, but of course larger at the top, and it's hard trying to figure out that fit.
Hmm. Um, the team, they can pretty much do anything. They're pretty talented over there. Um, but yeah, I am working on that as well. I will have special bras for women who are heavy chested or uh, in places that need support, back support, underarm, because I got that underarm fat after I had my kids. So I understand the struggles of wanting to cover the
Mhm.
entire part. So yes, I am working on that as well.
And with good support too. It's nothing worse than trying to run and jog and you don't have the right support.
Hmm.
You know, for some women it can be very painful. It really can. Let me see. I'm gonna try to get you some questions and see what we have.
Okay, oh, I think I
Are
did
you
see a
going to
question.
extend out into like hoodies and stuff too?
Say it again, Lynna.
Oh, I was asking if she was going to extend it out into like hoodies and stuff like that as well.
Did we lose Ange?
Yeah, we did. I know it kicks me off sometimes too lately, so I think she's coming back. Oh, great.
I'm back.
Hi.
Okay, I'm back. I'm not sure
Okay.
what
And
happened. Okay,
Lynna was asking,
what was?
are you planning to extend your brand to like hoodies and things like that?
Am I planning to what extend?
Like bring hoodies or jackets into your.
Yes. So I wanted to do that, but I was like, okay, because it's taking a little time to launch to actually be in full effect with the men's and women's product. I wanted to hold off on that until fall because we're going into spring right now. But yes, there are hoodies available. I was trying to hold off on that, but if there's a demand, I will supply it.
Okay. I was just wondering because I don't like wearing tight clothes. I always wear loose clothes.
Hmm. And that's why. And I wanted to cater to people who want to feel comfortable in their clothing as well. Because I know me, I like tight clothing, and not everyone's me, so I can't just market to a specific group.
I
I
like
think,
tight clothing before I hit 45.
but I think for women though, it's good to have the option. Because you do go through the changes. You go through the changes where pregnancy, losing weight, menopause. So I think it's good to have options. And the hardest thing about shopping, especially online, is finding things that are comfortable, that fit you well, and give you the support that you need. Those are probably the main issues
Very
that
true.
women and men face.
I
That
think
is
for
very
me,
true.
my thing is like I'm short. So I find that most workout clothes are too long for me.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a petite line as well? As far as short people?
I can incorporate that. So, the way I want to market, I want to allow people to, once they make an order, and if they say, "Hey, my from my hip down to my ankle is about these many inches," do you think you can make that same product or whatever? So that way, I can let my team know specifically for this order. Um, we need to adjust the size or the height. So yes, it is possible, because the product, once they're ordered, they're made right on the spot. It's not like I have a whole bunch of um, inventory in the back. It's more so just made to order.
Now let me ask you, does custom orders will they require more money? Are they going to be more expensive? Because you're really reasonable with your workout apparel. So would custom orders be an additional charge?
I have not an additional charge because since they're already making them as the orders come in, I can just say, hey, specifically this order, adjust the sizes to X, Y, and Z. I don't think it should be an issue, but it is possible. I don't think I would make it any different. No.
I love having that flexibility because I'm the opposite spectrum from Shishi. I'm taller. So a lot of times my workout pants don't go all the way down, or they're cut a certain way where they don't fit a certain way for taller people, or the way you're built. So I like having the option to customize.
Now, with certain materials, I can't think of it right now. If they have the four-way stretch, it doesn't matter if you're tall or if you're short. It'll adjust to you because of the four-way stretch.
Oh yeah, the ones that I bought from you, I'm telling you, I looked at them and I was like, there's no way my thigh is about to go into these pants. I was really, I was skeptical until I pulled them up, that final pull. I was like, well, they fit. They literally molded to my body. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the iffy thing when you're shopping, especially when you're a curvy girl and you're taller. You just don't know. You buy things offline and you're hoping that it fits and hoping you don't have to return it.
That's true. But I
She
stand behind it, so I wanted to make sure that women who are thicker or more on the plus size, whatever, that they would um, be able to fit in the clothing. I've seen it with my own eyes because I had a girl who had a 52-inch hip squeeze into a large.
Girl, I know. I'm at a 50 and I was like, ain't no way these cakes getting in them pants.
Her
I
cakes
got a
was
lot of
able to
butt.
fit.
I think that's like my thing. I'm always hesitant to buy workout clothing because I got a lot of butt and I don't want to look like, I just push these bad boys in and they're all lopsided or something. But I definitely wanted to look decent when I'm working out in the gym. And I've had a hard time trying to find good workout clothes, to actually feel comfortable in to go to the gym. So I'm interested in your apparel.
Check it out. You're gonna be surprised. I really was surprised with it. The quality is really great. The stretch, the comfort of it. For me, and I'm picky about workout stuff. I am, because I don't like being confined. I don't like things that don't feel right. Check out her line. Now, Steven is saying that he's a man that has a problem squeezing all his manhood into his workout pants. Now, I have seen this at the gym firsthand. It's a very interesting dilemma to have for men. But do you
Mm-hmm.
address this? I never thought about it until I had a guy that was spotting me, and he literally had an
Mm-hmm.
imprint of his balls in his workout pants.
Wow.
That's not a good look. Now I'm all for the cut and everything, but I mean, have you had that issue when you were looking at demographics that men what is that a common problem? And I'm being completely serious because I'm we had somebody bring it
Yeah,
up, so I'm wondering if this is common.
yes, it is common, as well as I guess the chafing inside the thighs and their junk being caught or something like that. So leaving enough room in that general area. So the actual seamster is a man. So he gives me the feedback and the information based on the problem men have with certain workout clothes. So that helps.
Interesting. I didn't know it was a thing. Steven is like, I thought y'all were gonna do readings. He came on the wrong show, and then he's like, we're talking about gym clothes. Mambo Sierra wants to know what gym I was going to. It was Gold's Gym. And it was some questionable stuff going on with the workout clothes there. I don't know what, but it was. And I never realized men had a problem until I started hearing men talk about it.
Same. I'm learning. When I started to market to, when I wanted to get into that category, I was like, I don't know, what do men like? I thought a t-shirt and some shorts and they're good to go. I didn't think they were as complicated as we are.
Yeah, it's a little
And
bit
it's
different now. It really is. Sierra
Mhm.
wants to know, where do you see your business in 2 years?
In 2 years, fully operational. Now, I feel that I will have to make a really big decision um in the years to come, as far as like giving 100% of myself to it, or because I am in the military, it's kind of like, once it takes off, it takes off. And once I start to make enough to have my own warehouse and everything, that will be a huge bridge to cross, and then I will have to make a decision. So I feel that's where it's going to go.
As an entrepreneur, it's very hard to raise a family,
Hmm.
run a business, stay on top of your other aspirations too, because there's so much that kind of cuts into
Hmm.
that. And to grow a business is really, it's not as easy as some people think it is. What are your struggles with that?
Oh my goodness. Our number one struggle: scammers. Trying to find vendors, but they're actually scammers. I That's one of the things that discouraged me at first when I first started, because I was trying to find a vendor that had good quality, and I would order samples and still would get what I needed, or they'll send me really low quality products and they're like, okay, well, you're not getting your money. And then I was like, I'm out of, a couple $100s or whatever. So I kept running into that a lot, as well as having business partners or business, what's that word? Consultants, kept getting screwed over by those type of people. So I just had to kind of like just listen to my heart and know that I could do it by myself. And no matter how long it took, I was going to finish. I was going to get there. But it was a lot. It was a lot. I lost a lot of sleep. I lost money along the way. Um, Lost myself a
Um,
little bit, but I found myself in 5 minutes. So I lost myself a little bit, but I got it together and I believed in myself and I pushed through. But running a business is very hard. There's so much that you're gonna learn, that you have to learn when you run a business, especially with building business credit, um, the taxes, registering your business, trying to get your business
yeah,
everywhere in the market. It's not that easy. It may
absolutely.
look
I
cool. Yeah.
I, I completely understand. I think a lot of times, even with the readings, and we're going to get into your readings also, because I want to talk about that too, because we got, you're multifaceted over here. But I know a lot
Hmm.
of times in readings, a lot of people that start a business, they want to, they've only been doing it for like a month, and they're like, why isn't it successful? Why am I not making a ton of money? And I think a lot of people go into it sometimes without a plan. because unfortunately you have to be flexible because you are going to have those roadblocks. You're going to have those scammers. You're going to have, capital problems. You're going to have problems getting loans, especially minorities. A lot of minorities, we don't have the same doors that are open for us when it comes to starting a business, and it makes us work a little bit harder.
So I know, forgive me if you answered this question because I got kicked off for a minute, but I know you were talking about the expansion of your business. And so I'm assuming you're a big workout person. You love working out, like that's your thing. And so I know you were saying you were willing to expand your service if they wanted hoodies or so, but do you find yourself someone who would extend it out to like maybe protein drinks, like the bars, things like that? Or is the apparel like the end where, is the apparel where you pretty much want your business to be?
No, I do want to also have workout equipment. I want to be like a Dick's Sporting Goods. I didn't want to drop names or whatever, or big corporate companies, but I see myself going down a path like that where workout equipment, workout clothes. As far as like the protein drinks and the bars, I didn't think too much into that, but it's an option that I wouldn't mind offering because I do enjoy those things.
Your own brand of supplements and things like that. What material are your clothes made out of? Because it doesn't look like the normal workout clothes. It looks comfortable.
Like lycra and polyester. It's like a blend because the workout clothes, you can actually tell them specifically, I want a blend of X, Y, and Z because I want the clothes to do X, Y, and Z. So depending on which one you're talking about, it depends on what it's made out of. I'm not exactly sure. I have it written down.
Okay, because they look really soft and stuff. And most workout clothes are like, they look like a wetsuit.
It's not, it's not, I know what you're talking about. It's not the workout stuff of 1980. I think it was the lycra where it was real shiny and real tight. Her stuff is really breathable.
Yes.
And it's not a heavy fabric. So it's really light. In fact, when I put it on, I was drinking some water and I spilled water on it, and I was surprised how quick the fabric dried. So it was like it absorbed a lot, which is really good too. I mean, if you do like me, when I used to work out, I used to do boot camps and walk out soaking wet from sweat. And the material just held it. You had to hurry up and come home and take a shower because you had this material that was not absorbing. But I will say with hers, it worked really well. I think Steven is on here trying to look for a date. Yeah, I think he's trying to look for a date. Let's go ahead. And I want to switch it up because I want to talk about your divining also. Because like I said, you do a lot of different things. You already said the military, the workout apparel, and we also know that you're a diviner. When did you start on your spiritual path with that?
Hello?
Okay, Ange, can you hear? Oh, we lost her again.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Steven say, oh, he's not looking for a hookup. He's looking for a business partner. You lost me, Steven, with the fishnets. I was like, okay, where is he going with the fishnets?
I'm
I stand
trying.
corrected, Steven. I stand corrected.
StreamYard's been kicking people off because, I mean, it froze me and then it kicked me off too. So I'm like,
It's the Wi-Fi probably in location. I think we should all do a flat stomach challenge since we're talking about workout stuff. I think we should give ourselves 4 weeks.
So what, like a week of liposuction, 3 weeks to recover, or?
Right.
I'm thinking about actually doing some crunches, getting on the floor,
I mean, I'm up here, like, I've been thinking about it, right? Because I went for a walk and I've been trying to get into this workout thing. And I'm like, My stomach isn't so bad, actually. It's really not. But I'm like, dude, I was up there doing some sit-ups the other day. I was like, what happened? This is not my high school days. This
Oh my
hurts.
God.
Where did this come from?
Welcome to what they call getting older.
I refuse. I refuse. I'm gonna try to do it like men. I'm gonna try to like really make it so I stay young and be like, hey, every time I see a 20-year-old, hey love, how you doing? Looking good. Hey, how
I
you
mean,
doing?
all,
Right.
all I
Rebuke
hear,
it.
all I hear is laxatives, milk, and liposuction.
Laxatives and liposuction.
And water, because you have to stay hydrated.
Mm. I think whoever gets the flatter tummy, we should put $50 on it. Whoever gets it wins the $50.
Okay, so how are we going to determine? See, Ange, now we need your help because Tanya has been talking some smack and she wants this flat stomach challenge here. And she wants to do 4 weeks, right? A flat stomach challenge. So who will determine who lost the most stomach, though? That's the question.
We got to let Ange do it. We got to let her do it.
Okay, okay. And when does this 4 week challenge start? Because I need to see if I can get a doctor to suck this bad boy out and be like,
Let's move on because I see already somebody talking about cheating openly. So let's move on. So sweet. Tell us about your spiritual journey. When did you start on that?
Okay, so with my spiritual journey, I've always been spiritual. I just low key kind of just kept it to myself, because it was always seen as like demonic, or if you can hear
Mm,
or see the dead or whatever, people associate that with being demonic. So I just kept it to myself, and plus I was afraid of it as well because of brainwashing and growing up religious and all that kind of stuff. So
right,
I separated myself completely from the church. Um, Maybe back in 2011 ish, when I was like, you know what, I'm done. I don't feel this is my calling. This is a place for me. Every time I would go into church, I would either feel things as far as like a bad presence or whatever. Not speaking down on the church. It just wasn't for me. Religious
right,
wasn't for me, and me questioning the Bible and how things were contradicting. Um, I was just like, it's not for me. I mean, I never felt like I was in a peaceful place. I just felt like it was chaotic or it was crazy. It was just me being an empath and feeling the energy and just not really connecting with what was going on in that general area. So since COVID happened, so maybe in 2019, it was when I really kind of shifted. Um, when I was doing a lot of self work, I didn't realize I was doing like shadow work or anything like that. I was doing self work where I was working on myself, working on being a better person. So that kind of just opened me up as far as like being spiritual and being able to connect more. I was a little more psychic. Um, I saw signs, but I just didn't understand what I was going through until after during COVID-19, where everything was shut down and I had only me to deal with. I was dealing with myself a lot more.
right.
I had time to be still. I had time to really like reflect on a lot of things, and that's when spirituality, I felt like the universe was just talking to me and trying to communicate with me at the ringing of the ears. I kept seeing the numbers. I kept uh, seeing like visions of stuff. Like I would close my eyes, I would see something, and then later on it came true, and I was like, "That's weird." And then the dreams, and then the paralysis with the dreams. It got weirder and weirder until I ran into Lucian, who kind of like helped me figure myself out and was like, this is what's going on, this is what I see, this is what your future will be, and everything he said is actually happening exactly how he said it was going to happen.
He he
So
he he 100% is a very connected diviner.
mm-hmm.
He told me some things that really kind of, like you said, opened my eyes too. And I think, what is that saying? When the student is ready, the teacher will come.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel that that's the energy that he brings to the table. And of course, you're going to have many, many teachers throughout your lifetime, but sometimes because you went through a spiritual awakening, you
And that
you
is
went through something where it was like, okay, I'm shedding this old skin and this new person is emerging. What do I do with that? So it's a big thing. I mean, I think a lot of us could connect to it. A lot of us could. What made you, because there's a lot of people that go through the awakening but don't decide to become diviners or prophets. What made you move from that area where it's like, okay, now I'm starting to see things differently. Now let's see what I can do with it. When did you hit that point?
Yeah, like when did you come out of the closet to the public?
So, okay, so I'm gonna go back a little bit. Me, I got tired of paying for readings because people would tell me things I already knew, and I was like, I already know this stuff. Why do I need? Why do I feel the need to always get a reading? So I started learning how to read tarot. So that helped me move forward as well because I was like, I can do my own divination now, and learning to let go of my ego, and then as far as like starting the actual journey to be a student as well as being a teacher, because I teach family members what I know, the little things that I do know, whatever, was because I like helping people. It's in my nature to help people, to be of service to someone. So that's, did I answer your question? I feel like I'm going off in a
No,
whole
no,
nother.
no. You did. I think honestly, you were called. Pretty much everything that you just said is that this was a calling. I felt called to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where I think that probably hit all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you would have asked me years ago if I would be doing readings, what I would call professionally now,
Mm-hmm.
I would have said no, because I was trying to find myself and I was trying to figure out what all this meant. And then spirit kind of pushes you. At least for me, I felt like I was pushed into something else. I don't know, Shishi, Leno, how did it happen for you guys? Did you feel the same way?
Well, I was reading on Keen, and I was working at the hotel. I was working graveyards, and I was, got a lot of downtime on graveyard shift. So I would do readings, in between people coming in and doing whatever I had to do. Um, and then I went to New Orleans with this lady named Tonya for 5 days. Yeah, I had 5 days off. Don't get me wrong. It was my vacation. We went to New Orleans, came back, and I got told that I needed to learn how to communicate better with my boss at the hotel because I didn't call him for 5 days, but I was off. And so he fired me. And I was like, oh, fuck, what am I going to do? And then it was like, okay, King, you got me. And I haven't had a job in what, 4.5 years, 4 years? But yeah, spirit, absolutely. If they want you to do something, they're going to make you do it. They'll be like, no, you don't need to work at the hotel anymore. You're fired because you didn't call your boss on your day off. I mean, how stupid is that?
It happens.
My my path was similar to Ange's. When you realize that the church is not for you, they can't answer the questions that tend to be contradictory, and they kind of look at you as though you have small faith. But when I stepped into the path of being the true diviner, it occurred to me because I was always reading my friends, but I would only read them on the holidays. That for a while didn't seem, how do I say it? Like, it didn't seem like I was being a bad Christian when I would read them on certain days, such as Halloween or other days, Day of the Dead, things like that. And then I realized I really like being a reader. I really enjoy being a diviner. I have a gift, and I'd rather use it, to help people instead of pretending to be in a world that I don't fit in. So that's I stepped outside the church. It just wasn't working for me. And I decided to help people with my gifts and help them move past, you know, any obstacles they may have.
I think a lot of people, when it comes to religious conflict and family, try to struggle with finding a balance that works for you. And I mean, because a lot of people, family pulls away. They don't know how to deal with it because it doesn't work for them. Have you experienced that, Ange, where you've had people kind of pull away because you decided to walk this path?
Yes. I think spirit just kind of like took them out for me because they realized they weren't for me. So I lost a couple friends during my transition into spirituality. Or some people were afraid of me, or they were like, "Oh, that's that's satanic or whatever." And I'm like, "Satanic? I don't talk to Satan." I'm like, me connecting with my ancestors. They're not demons, or your
Exactly.
ancestors. They're not demons. I would not disrespect my family or their family like that by calling them that. I mean, um, yeah. So I lost friends, family members. My family members are spiritual, so because of my background, I'm Haitian, so they've been practicing voodoo since forever. That's in my bloodline. That's just part of me. I'm just now starting to accept it and be a part of it as
Right.
well.
The beautiful thing about Haitian people, that when you go to Haiti, voodoo is such a part of the culture
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of times, I mean, you, of course, you have your places where it's like, okay, don't talk about it, don't mention it, or there's certain parts of secret societies that you can't really get into. But for the most part, it literally is ingrained in everything in Haiti. You cannot go to the grocery store, the gas station, anywhere without being exposed to voodoo. So it's crazy how it's so accepted there. But when you come back to the States, you say the word and people freak out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Hollywood, by Hollywood standards, the word here has become so negative, even with my family. And we ended up in Louisiana by via, the passage from Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
And so even with family members that practice voodoo, they don't like to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it in the States because it's not acceptable here.
Yep. It's
So
not.
it's interesting. I admire someone who connects with their ancestors and their bloodline, and they want to keep that alive
Mm-hmm.
because that's where your power comes from. So when I talk to you, and I've told you this a couple of times, you're powerful. The things that are opening up for you, you haven't even reached the full pinnacle of it. It's going to be amazing. I feel it. And I know that you've been getting more downloads. How has that been working for you? Because I know I think especially 2020 and 2021, a ton of people are getting all these crazy downloads with spirit.
Without trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist, these
Girl, you
downloads.
at the right place. We were talking about black-eyed children the other Sunday, so you're in the right place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, step out real quick. So, some of the downloads I got was maybe, I won't say doomsday or anything like that, but I feel that some things that are about to happen in the next 6 months are going to be an eye opener for a lot of people. I hope people are really tapping into their spirituality because there's more crazy things, or the truth is about to come out about some things, or people will see past a lot of the BS that's been going on in the world. So that's another thing, to get down to the nitty gritty of the dreams that I've been having. They're pretty some of it is catastrophic. So am I saying that word right?
Yeah.
Catastrophe. Okay, yeah.
I, I
There's,
think prophetic dreams are really big right now.
yes, because they're.
Really,
Mhm.
spirit is preparing. Spirit is preparing. And you got some people are like, "Oh, you're crazy. You're talking crazy."
They do.
Because they don't see it, they don't feel it. But
Mhm.
a lot of diviners are starting, and a lot of channelers are starting to feel it. I think Shishi, we even talked about this on a different episode. You were even talking about things that were coming through.
Mhm.
Yeah, we definitely did. I mean, and the reason people are saying, "Oh my God, you're crazy," it's scary. I mean, think about it. You are either in this world where you live in a bubble and you're like, "No, this is the way it is," or you live in a dogmatic bubble in which someone has to come save you. I mean, it's a lot of scary things happening right now that are about to happen, especially. And people don't really know how to process it. And a lot of people think of it only on this mundane level, but spiritually, things are moving and they've been moving since
Mhm.
last year.
Yeah.
And we still haven't hit the climax. But a lot of spiritual people, they're getting their downloads. So like this is what's happening. Either, you're moving with us or you're not. And there's just a lot going on. So I understand completely what you mean by prophetic dreams or just the things that you're seeing because they're letting you know, okay, this is where you need to move, so you can keep your people safe.
Yeah,
That's
I agree. The spiritual growth is really lately, I think it's been painful for a lot of people because it is scary. And even for us that are messengers, I think we're even being called to do more. It used to be, oh, let me just read the cards. Now I feel like, okay, I need to go ahead and do some things in the community. I need to go ahead and take care of some people now. So um, I guess it's part of walking your spiritual path
mm-hmm.
because it is going to expand. Have you felt that call lately though, Ange? Have you felt that you needed to do more or you wanted to do more? Because I tell you, it's hitting really strong on me lately.
Yes. People, a lot more people. Spirit is sending them to me. I've been like trying to help them, trying to get them to people to be helped because, you know, I'm like I won't say a beginner, but I'm like, okay, there. I know some powerful people. You're dealing with some strong blockage. I'd rather you go to someone who I trust with my own life, with this stuff. So, yes, a lot of people are coming to me a lot more now with really big situations, and I'm able to help them in a way, mentally. But as far as like the spiritual work, the candle magic, and all that kind of stuff, I do send them to people who I feel that would be able of help for them. So, yeah, I feel that I am a part of that team.
I think honestly, that's the strength of a healer to know your limitations.
Yes.
Because we have a lot of people that are in the community that sell a service, but they don't know how to do the service or they're fake. And you said something at the beginning when you were talking about it that, spirit is navigating you through the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
People are starting to see through the bullshit. A lot of people that maybe we idolize are going to be seen for who they really are. And the people that are going to rise up are going to be people that you least expect.
That
I
is very.
feel like, because I think spirit is preparing a lot of people for their role. A lot of us don't even know where we're going to be or where we're going to fit into it. So it should be really interesting. Tell us about your page. What's the concept of your page, The Divine World of Tarot?
So when I first started out my tarot page, my cousin actually helped me with it. She was like, "You got to do more live readings. You got to do readings. You got to do this. You got to do that." And at first, when I started doing readings, I was just like shy because I'm putting myself out there. People are gonna see me. They're gonna judge me and all that kind of stuff. And until one day, I was just like, "So what if they judge me? I've already lost friends or people who I don't talk to." So I went ahead and started the page, and I've been just doing. I started off just strictly doing readings, free readings for people, but then that got a little overwhelming because I had like maybe 50 people in my inbox. It was like, "I'd like a free reading," and I would try to give them,
Yes.
but I wasn't doing the right spiritual practice to prepare me for a reading, the proper cleansing. So I went through like I was drained for a while, and then I had to stop doing it. And I was like, I want to do it, but I'm tired. I'm drained. My
Yeah.
mental, it was a lot, and I just was like, okay, let me take a step back and really think about and focus. What do I really want to offer? And what I really want to offer is just information to help people elevate themselves. That's the goal. That's the objective.
You said something one time in a conversation, and I hope I'm not crossing boundaries by sharing it.
That's okay.
But I feel like it speaks to this. You made a comment about reading for people and not feeling that it was effective because they're not doing the work. And it comes to a point, I think every diviner has hit that wall where it's like, okay, I'm telling you something to help you navigate, so that you don't get caught up in a bad situation. And then a week later they come back and they're like, well, I want a reading on this relationship again. And it's like, okay, no, no, no. We've
Mm-hmm.
done this. And I've been getting snappy. I have, because I feel like you're wasting your time, you're wasting my time. I'm
No,
trying to help you and you don't want the help. And some people I have come to I've cut ties. I'll tell them we got to break up. I can no longer read for you because it gets very draining on your psyche. I think a lot of people think that, oh, you're just a tarot reader, oh, you're just a medium, oh, you're just a whatever. But
mm-hmm.
actually, you're a healer. you're passing messages on. Have you, I know you felt that way. What have you put in place to help you kind of buffer that energy?
Um, I'll say that I'll just tell people if it's like a free reading, I cut them off. But if they're actually paying because I'm like working on, of course, some things that, I
Mhm.
some things that we talked about I'm working on with Lucian and things that are upcoming, I was like, okay, for now, and I talked to Spirit and I was like, all right, for now, I'm just gonna have to kind of like bite the bullet and just do what I need to do. But at the same time, I'm very picky with who I do readings for, or I send them to other people. I'm okay with that because it's not all about the money. It's more about if I can
Absolutely.
help you. If I can I help you? Okay, if I can't, then I'll send you to someone who may have the patience for that person. But I don't. It's not. I'm not moved by the money where I have to take it. If they want to take it, they can. But at a certain point, I'll just send them to somebody else. I'm like, look, I know plenty of great readers. Maybe they'll tell you something different. I don't know, but
I agree. A lot of people on my Friday reads are like, you're always bringing in other people, or you're always supporting other people, and it's like sometimes I don't get it, and I'm okay with that. Sometimes you're infringing on my peace of mind. I don't want that to happen, so I can't. I'm not the person for you.
hmm
I think a lot of diviners have to start really putting themselves in a position of self care
hmm
and mental self care. Because you can have somebody like Steven on this live that may work your last nerve with things that they're saying.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah. I was gonna like echo. I feel like right now, I mean, especially for 2020, healers were being told to rest, to watch their energy and to learn and to grow. Because 2021 was coming up, and this is when, yes, you were going to be put into action, but then also all this information was going to be coming onto you. Do you find as a diviner, as a healer, that the people who are attracted to you tend to be of heavier energy as of late?
Mm,
Yes. Oh my goodness. They're some of them are a hot mess. They When I say hot mess, I'm like, you need the whole works. You need healing. You need
yeah,
spiritual. You need a ritual healing, not just no prayer, not just a little bit of bath. You need the whole works. You need the whole candle. Those are the type of people that just latch on to me, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Um,
because you're an empath.
yes.
Mhm.
So, and I'm learning ways to close myself off, especially when I go in public, because people will come up and just have conversations with me. I'm like, oh, I want to just be antisocial, buy what I need to buy, and just go about my day. We're still dealing with COVID, so I'm like, I don't know what you got going on, but 6 feet, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
Do
yeah.
you also find, I'm just because I know you said you were stepping into it, but what I find is that a lot of people who feel like they're new actually are old. And what I find and why I state this is because your energy is an older energy, as though you have
Mm-hmm.
done this so much longer than what you state. You have been doing it. So do
hmm
you find that sometimes your energy, as step into this healing path, step into this empathic path.
hmm
Um, do you also find that perhaps people who have stated that they've been doing it a long time kind of feel as though they're intimidated by you because you have a very strong energy? Tanya is very correct about that, and it's definitely an older energy. So how do you feel about that, that, I guess, concept of already knowing that you've been doing this before and talking to people who are saying they've been doing it for years?
Um, in a way, I have felt that, or I just felt like people were just a little off with me. Like, hey, I'm coming to you as a naive. I won't say naive, but as like somebody new, like because I for a long time I was trying to find a teacher or someone to kind of like explain what was going on with me, but it was kind of like just I guess spirit just was like this person's not for you. So I'm like, but I'm a really nice person. They could read I'm a nice person. They know that what they're doing. They know that I'm being very genuine. So, but those people who I would try to get with or try to connect with or try to see as a mentor for me. They just they weren't for me. I'm not gonna talk bad about them or anything, but we just never connected. So now that you guys bring that up, it kind of makes sense. So
Yeah.
that brings things to perspective.
You have a lot of narcissistic people that tend to be attracted to empaths. And
Why?
it's because empaths want to they want to save. And narcissistic people come in at first like they need to be saved, and then they flip. And then the empath is like, okay, what the fuck just happened?
Why
I
and
came
why
in
do
to
I get
save
the
you, and now you're trying to do me in.
So I'm
that?
going to go back to a comment that Tanya stated, and that you also, discussed on Ange. You were saying, there's a lot of people who are now realizing, the truth, and people are being shown for who they are. Do
Mhm.
you find that people with larger names, like even if we step outside our spiritual world, let's say we look at Joel Osteen, for example, he's a big preacher. Um, they're all being seen for who they are. How does that make you feel as someone who's stepping into this path and you're like, yes,
I love
things
it.
are being revealed?
I love it. I love it because some of those people, and I'm not going to say no names because I do not want to get attacked or blasted or whatever, or put on
Mm-hmm.
cancel culture. But some of those people, those leaders, they do not have souls. And I've been telling my friends and my families, like, look, some of these people, this is how you can tell they don't have a soul, or their soul is wandering in the matrix and waiting for their body to die off. But there are leaders, spiritual leaders, or religious healers who are out here who aren't supposed to be leading people because they do not have a soul, and people like me and us, we can see through their
Mm-hmm.
through them. I'm like, that is not a religious person or a person of God walking and leading the people. So I'm so glad people are seeing that for who they really are, because growing up I saw through that, but I just was like, I didn't understand. But I always question it. But why would God send or have all these people who are so bad leading services or being religious I won't say healers but leaders or something like that, but I could tell they're not a good person.
I think a lot of people have discernment, but they don't use it. They don't want to see. And when it comes to somebody that we put on a pedestal that's supposed to be like God, we live in a culture where we're taught from a young age to idolize people and put them on pedestals.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about a religious or a spiritual person, that's the highest,
Mm-hmm.
because we expect them to have some type of moral compass. But I do agree that we have to start looking at people realistically. And I think people need to be held to some type of accountability and transparency.
Yeah.
Even as a diviner, I mean, I think you owe people that you're working with an opportunity to see who you are.
Very true.
So there's a lot of growth, even for me this year. There's a lot of growth that's coming in with the way spirit deals with me and the way that I see people. And I'm the same way. Lately, I've been scrolling through Facebook and it's making me sick. It's certain groups that I just can't even. I'm like, okay, do you comment or do you scroll on or do you leave the group? And now I'm just like leaving the group because I just have no energy. I don't want to put any energy into it, period. And I think that's spirit. It's a spiritual cleansing. I don't know if you guys have felt it, but I feel like there's some type of spiritual cleansing. My
Mm-hmm.
palate is being cleansed.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've already like stepped back completely. I don't even know what happened to Joel Osteen, and he lives right here in town. I have heard nothing, but I don't pay attention. I completely am away from Facebook.
I don't know if anything happened to Joel Osteen, but I only use that as an example.
Oh, okay. I'm
When
like, what
things
happened? I don't even know.
No, like when the towns were flooded and people needed places to stay and things, that
Oh
he
yeah.
wasn't willing to open up his church and, for people to stay in until someone called, him out. But just, seeing this world, like, and having so many people be downloaded and people feeling like people are conspiracy theorists and such.
Mm-hmm.
What I find now, and I've taken a step back and I just kind of want to observe, is that lately, and you guys can let me know if you feel the same, that people who are like, oh, you're a newbie, you can't be getting all these downloads. There's a lot of people who seem new, but they're old.
True.
And they're old and they're receiving the downloads because this is their journey. This is their time to step in and finish doing the work that they may have been called to do in a previous life or whatever they need to do for this life. But you see a lot of people, and I mean, spirituality is the same as dogma, right? Sometimes with people, and they're using it to make money. You see a lot of people who are making tons of money and they have this big name. And they're leading people to their demise. And that's really what you're seeing a lot of is the people who are going to lead people to their own elevation and those who will lead people to their their demise. And so, I mean, and I'm just now meeting you for the first time and I see your energy and I see your spirit and I'm like, well then, this is a very comforting and a very healing spirit. Not only that, it's a strong and a wise spirit. And so when you say that you're new, I'm sitting here like you're not really new at all. And so what I want you to know is as you're going through this path and on this journey, there are spirits and there are things that know you that you have yet to remember them.
Absolutely.
And so keep that in mind and don't be intimidated by anyone because most of the time when people will say things to you, you're already older than them. And that's what I'm being called to tell you. You are a very old spirit. And so I wish you so much wisdom and luck and best of everything in this new journey for yourself.
I appreciate that. That makes me feel good. Thank you.
No, I mean, 100, how I feel. I've been saying that you've been powerful from day one. Real recognizes real. I think sometimes when you start growing with people and you see that there's goodness in them, even if they're dealing with the darker side or the shadow side of themselves, you can see people. And I think that shows with you. And I think that I agree with Shishi. I think you're going to have a lot of customers and clients that are going to be attracted to you because they do see that. Because we've seen the fake. A lot of us within the last 2 years, we've seen things that just don't sit well with our souls. And now we're meeting people where it's like, okay, I want to get to know this person more, or I want to open up to this person more. And it's a good thing. I think we need that outlet because we need people that are going to come in. We need healers that are going to heal. So it should be interesting to see where spirit takes you. It really should, but I know it's going to be a good place. I absolutely know it's going to be a good place.
I do feel it. I have vision, so it's getting there where spirit wants me to be. It's going to be a journey, but I'm so excited.
Well, Sweets, as we end this, is there anything that you want to share?
Me? Anything I want to share? Just if you're moved by me, you like what you hear, you want to know more about myself, what I do, don't hesitate to contact me. I'm an open book. I'm very friendly. Don't let the look intimidate you. But
it's the Haitian look. It's the Haitian women have a certain look that don't fuck with me.
And people say that, and I'm like, I'm the most sweetest person ever. But I am a Cancer though. I'm sweet until you cross me, maybe like.
And then the claws.
And then I'm a monster.
Oh my goodness!
But that's the Cancer of me. We're overly loving up until you do us wrong, and it's like, then you see the real dark side, and it's like, hey,
if they have to see it, they have to see it.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you so much for coming on and talking about your businesses, and I'm looking forward to supporting you more. I need more workout clothes. I'm actually signing up tonight for boot camp again. Lord help me.
You can do it.
Oh, wait, before we sign off, so are we doing, I will not cheat, okay? I will not cheat because everything in Germany is closed. So I couldn't get liposuction even if I wanted. So are we doing this 4-week flat stomach challenge in which Ange is the judge for our flat tummies?
Yeah. We don't throw it on Ange. We're gonna have to send her some pictures of some stomachs, and then at the end of 4 weeks, send her some more pictures.
Look,
So when do we
I want
start though? That's the
to my
question. Do we
stomach
need a
out
week?
as far as it'll go, and then at the end of 4 weeks, I'm gonna be sucking it all in.
You know what? I can't do. They already talking about cheating. I can't do it. We're gonna have to come up with something different because both of y'all are not right.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try to really, really get it out there.
Whatever. We will discuss the challenge a little bit more and then let Ange know because right now it sounds like straight fuckery. That's what it sounds like. All right, sweets. Thank you so much for being here. Please take care of yourself and your babies, and we'll talk soon.
Thank
Be
you.
well. Thank you all for joining us. We
Thank you,
appreciate you.
guys.
All right,
And we'll
bye-bye.
see you next week.